And we're back. We're wrapping up our series on 4th of July Independence Day activities, and we're going to talk about, uh, first of all, this is Jason McLaren with this show is a Disaster Podcast. And we're going to talk about going to fireworks shows. Yesterday, or last episode, we talked about putting on your own fireworks show. Today, we're talking about going to a fireworks show. You know, this is always the best option. It's free, usually, and you're going to have people there that know better what they're doing as far as fireworks are going. But that kind of leads me to my first point. Reputable venues. You want to make sure you're going to a reputable venue that has hired a reputable company to do the fireworks. So here in Texas, you have to be licensed to be a fireworks operator, and that costs money. And of course, fireworks cost money. So if your venue's doing a free show, you want to make sure that they have budgeted for that. Not for your purposes, but so that you know that they're using a reputable venue, basically. You don't want to go to these hole-in-the-wall entertainment and event places that have hired their brother-in-law or their cousin to come out and do a fireworks show, and they're just buying fireworks off the shelf and trying to put on a show. That's not very safe. So, you know, these big churches and big entertainment companies that do this, several years in a row, they've most likely budgeted for this, and they have contacts with reputable companies, so it's going to be more safe. That kind of leads to my next thing. Cost equals safety. Usually if you're going to one of these shows and it costs money, that usually means they're using a good company and it's going to be safely monitored. That's not to say that nothing can happen, right? We've seen these things over the past couple of years where these big professional companies just have accidents. Luckily, firework technology has come a long way over the past few years, and so there's ways for them to manage that and be safe. Next, we're going to talk about security. You got to be safe and secure during all this for yourself, because the venue is going to be secure. The fireworks guys are going to make sure that no one's coming in there that doesn't need to be in there, and that's not what you need to worry about. You need to worry about your own security and making sure that you have what you need, especially because these things are at night. You don't want to become victim to savvy, people that are going to try to take advantage of you. So you want to make sure any kind of protections you can have that you have. I'm not saying to do one thing the right way. It's up to you on what you like to do to stay safe at night. Personally, I'm a concealed carry holder, so I'm going to probably conceal carry unless they have signage, which they may have. That's another thing you want to look at, if they have no concealed carry signage or no open carry signage here in Texas. But just be aware of your surroundings, and that kind of leads to my next tip on video. A lot of people like to take video of these fireworks shows to put on Facebook or put on their social media. You want to make sure that your video, you're not getting caught up in just shooting video. You want to make sure that you're aware of what's going on around you, and you're not just staring at your phone the whole time. So then that kind of goes into vehicle safety. You wouldn't think about that, but a lot of these things are done outside, and you just pull up in your car and you park, and then you watch the show. But you don't want to be stuck there, right? You don't want to be sitting there trying to figure out what's going on with your car, your battery dead, or you got a flat tire, and you're fighting with your car to try to get out of there, especially in the middle of the night. That's once again, it goes back to the security things, where you could have people trying to take advantage of you, and then you're stuck there at the place, and then there could be people there that could harm you. Just make sure you check your battery and tires before you go out, and that your vehicle's not going to leave you stranded there at the location. Next thing, you want to look at distance. A lot of these things are set up pretty good where you can't even park close to the fireworks, which is safe. But if you have that option, you want to park a little bit further away. You don't need to be right up on these things to see them. So if you can park a little bit away, that's safer, because if something does happen, you're less likely to get injured. And that also will help with your egress. If something does happen, you're not going to be stuck there at the location, and you're able to get out a little bit easier. Obviously, if you can park in a parking lot right by the exit, that's the best spot, because then you can just get in your car and leave, and you're not going to be stuck behind a bunch of other vehicles trying to get out. Then you want to think about snacks and water. If this is going to be a long duration event, you get to the location, you got to set up your car. Maybe you pop open the back of your car to sit down on. Especially if you have kids, they're going to start getting antsy right away. So you want to have water. One, especially here in Texas, it's still hot at night, so you want to have water to make sure you stay hydrated. But snacks to make sure that your kids aren't getting antsy. If something does happen, you've got some kind of substance to kind of hold you off until you get out of there and get to the next location. So, all right, well that's it. Have a good 4th of July Independence Day for everyone, and we will catch you on the next episode.